What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's Trev Talk. Before we get into it, just a couple housekeeping items. First things first, Project Ultra. If you haven't heard about it, you have not been paying attention, so go ahead and subscribe so you can hear more about it. Vlogs or video journals coming out periodically, training block breakdowns every new training block, and if you want to get involved, head to my Facebook page. There's plenty of info and connections to the actual event page. There'll be a sign-up sheet. All the info is there. So check that out. Second thing, Christmas is coming up and Best Self merch is available. So if you want to convince someone to be their best self, which I'd hope all of you do, get some, give it to somebody, make sure they're comfy, looking good, all that fun stuff. And then the last thing, if any of you who regularly tune in have topics that you want me to cover on future Trev Talks, you can throw them in the comments. You can shoot me a little DM, but I will make sure that I get those covered. Now, let's get into today's topic. So this is something I actually tried to shoot a Trev Talk earlier today, and it just felt very forced and unnatural. So I took the day. I was just kind of going through life, doing some things. And I've been thinking a lot today about this concept that I've talked about before on the podcast, which is consistency versus intensity. Now, I believe these work in tandem, almost like they're always doing a dance, but there are three main focuses that I want to talk about today. So the first one is I think about consistency and intensity almost like investing in stocks. So if you know anything about stocks, which I know very little, so for those of you who know a lot, don't judge me, but I think about it like consistency is the stocks where you look at it long term, very low risk. It's low reward. Now, obviously, if you are consistent, you'll reap the benefits and have rewards from it. But I think about it like the surefire, day in and day out, the ROI is there on your habits, the things that you're investing your time, your effort, your focus, your energy, all of that into. It's the day in, day out things that you do for a long period of time that just have that very consistent, almost like linear growth. Now, the reason that's not a fantastic example is because with the compound effect of the pursuit of self-development, that stuff doesn't tend to be linear. It tends to stack on and exponentially pop off. But that's the way I think about it in terms of consistency, as to where intensity, that's where you're going into these really volatile stocks, these things that are high risk, high reward. You're making a big push, gambling, hoping that at the end you'll get this crazy payout, whether that's an accomplishment, whether that's taking bold action in an area of life, whatever that may look like. So that's kind of what I think about is consistency is those low volatility stocks, just the surefire, low risk, day in, day out. You know what you're going to get if you put in the work. The intensity, that's where you're doing the whole Babe Ruth, call your shot, and hopefully you hit that home run. That's the first way I think about it. The second way I think about it is consistency is, we all know that unless some crazy cosmological thing happens, the sun is going to come up every morning. Again, day in, day out, 365.25 days a year, that sun's popping up over the horizon and doing what it does. Now, intensity, that's the seasons. So this is something that you all know very well about me. I have seasons where I get into training camp, I go hard, I do everything all out so that I can have that grand finale, that big accomplishment, that puff my chest moment. But then after that, there's the season of coming down, having grace, relaxing. So that's very seasonal, as opposed to the consistency that comes with every day that sun's coming out. Now, the reason I lay that foundation is because I want to talk about how I genuinely view consistency and intensity as they relate to each other. I genuinely believe that you do not get the opportunity to go for the intense things if you don't lay the foundation of consistency leading into the shot for the intense fill in the blank. So what I think about, obviously, is my training camps. Yes, I shoot these big shots. I go for these intense goals, but the reason I do that and have the confidence in doing that is because I've built that track record. I've had that consistency showing up every day, doing the right workouts, eating the right foods, doing my breath work, doing my recovery, dialing in on my sleep, making sure that what I'm doing with my focus, my energy, my attitude even, the people I'm with, all of that is so consistent for a long enough period of time that I've etched up that hill to where now I can shoot that shot. And so that's something that I want everyone to think about is if you're listening to this, you are a go-getter. You are a self-development person. You want to pursue self-mastery. But with that comes these big ambitions, these big goals, these desires to go for bold, crazy things. And that's phenomenal. I'm the last person who's going to say don't do that. I say freaking go for it. But thinking about the reverse engineering process of take that intense accomplishment, evolution, whatever you're thinking, and reverse engineer it. Pick it apart so that you can figure out what pieces plug into the consistency aspect that will give you the self-confidence, the skill set, the mindset, and just the track record to confidently shoot that shot for the intense goal so that you're going in prepared, you're going in well-rounded, you're going in ready, or as ready as one can be in the pursuit of something extreme and extraordinary. So that's just something I wanted to break down because I've fallen into the trap many times before of thinking I can either go for consistency and just focus on the process, or I can just go for intensity and focus on these big pushes. And I do now think of it like a stock, where you're never going to find a stock that's just literally a straight line going up, and you know that if you put in X here, you're going to get a change in Y here. But you don't want to pick stocks that just go down over time. There's going to be those little spikes and dips and things like that, but it's on an upward trajectory. And realistically, that's going to happen. There's going to be volatility in our evolution as individuals, whether that be in our finances, our health and fitness, our relationships, our career, our spiritual practice. All of those things are going to have the amplitude, the highs, the lows, the stretches of time where it feels stagnated. But if there's over the course of a month, a year, your life, all you're looking to do is push that up as far as you can. And I truly believe that comes down to combining, dialing in the consistent pursuit of what you desire in this life with the, I'll even call it the audacity to shoot those intense shots, to go for those things that people tell you are crazy, are stupid, are unrealistic. And when you combine that consistency with the intensity, you become very dangerous in that pursuit of self-development and an extraordinary life. So that's the little thought for you today. If you liked it, heck, if you disliked it, if you got something from this, questions, comments, concerns, throw them in the comments. Hit that like button. Trev Talks are coming back, so Mondays are going to be the podcast. Episode 71 came out on Monday. If you haven't yet, go check that out. Trev Talks are going to be dropping on Thursdays. Again, if you have topics you want me to cover, hit me up in the comments or the DMs, or send a pigeon with a letter, or any way to get in contact with me, and I'll try to make a video about it. And then for Project Ultra, periodic vlogs, monthly training breakdowns. The next training breakdown is coming tomorrow once this comes out, so Friday. So be ready for all that stuff. Best Self Studios is going to be releasing a lot more content now that I've kind of settled into training camp. Things are settling down a little bit. We back, baby. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace!